Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. In the previous video, we learned about input and output in Python, how users give data and how programs show result. But here is a question. When a user gives input, where does that data get stored? That is what we are learning today. Today's topic is variable in Python. So let us understand first what is variable in Python. A variable is a name used to store data in memory. In simple words, a variable is like a labeled box where we can keep information. Let's understand variable with a simple example. Let's imagine this is your study room. Okay, and your study room is like the computer's memory. Inside your study room, you have a bookshelf, different books, and each book has a location. Here, your study room represents computer's memory. This is where all the data is stored. Each book in your study room represents a value in Python. For example, a math book, a science book, or an English book. And each book contains information. Every book is placed in specific location in the cell, like the math book here and the science book here and the English book in another location. Similarly, every value in Python is stored at a location in memory. The variable name points to that location. In short, we can understand variable is a name or label that points to the value or data which stored in a memory location. Why do we need variables? See, without variables, we cannot store input from the user, we cannot reuse the data, we cannot perform calculations. We will understand this in the coming example in this video. And also, we cannot perform calculations. Variables make programs dynamic and powerful. That's why we need variable in our program. Before I explain you the variables with the example, there are some rules for naming variables in Python we need to know. The variable name must start with a letter or underscore, cannot start with a number, and no spaces are allowed in between the name of the variable. No special characters are allowed. It is case sensitive, cannot use Python keywords, and should be meaningful. So let's understand this with an example. So for that, let's go to Visual Studio Code or any Python code editor. Here I have already created a Python file named variable.py. Now let's understand the code. See, the first rule is a variable name must start with a letter. It can be A to Z small or in capital, or it can start with underscore. For example, name equal to Lucky Oshiero, and let's print this. As we learned in our previous video, to show the result or output, we use the print function in Python. So here we are writing print name. Okay, save this, Ctrl+S, then run this program. As we can see, we got our output Lucky Oshiero. Let's understand this with the second rule for naming a variable. For example, if we use a number before the variable name, what will happen? So let's do that first. Before name, I'm writing 2 here and save this program and run this program. See, here we got the syntax error, invalid decimal literal. Okay, so we cannot use a number before a variable name. Let's correct this. We will run this program. And now we got the result as Lakyosheru. We will see one more example here. Variable names are case sensitive in Python. Here our variable name is capital N, small a and MA. Now we will use the same name as our variable, but the case are different. Like we write the name as small name equal to Lucky, name equal to Osheru. So we will print all these things. Save this and run again. And we got our output successfully, like Lucky Osheru, Lucky and Osheru. The other rules for naming a variable, try this on your own. This is your task. And comment down below if you understood variable or not. One more thing, the variable name should be meaningful. As we can see in the first look to the program, the variable name we can understand name means it stores a name. Like whatever thing you do in your program, like an operation, addition, subtraction, like that, you need to name your variable according to that so that you can understand your program. And anyone who will see your program can understand what the code contains actually. The types of values variable can store is like numbers, text, decimal numbers, true or false like boolean value. See, Python automatically understands the type of data, so we do not need to manually define it, which makes Python beginner friendly. How to check the data type of a variable we can see in the coming videos. Till then, take care and happy coding. Thank you for watching this video.